So today is a short hymn, only 5 verses, Trishtup, again by Vasishtha. Very direct diction, beautiful verses, and very easy language. Vi Usha avach pathiya jananam panchakshritih manushih manushih bodhayanti susamdrigbhih ukshabhih bhanam ashret. Visuryo rodasi, Visuryo rodasi, Chakshasavach. The dawn opened wide the ways of people. The ways or the paths opened wide the paths. The ways sounds strange, yeah? Oh, Vi Usha avach, Vi avach, she opened Usha, Pathiya, that which follows the path. Jananam, of those who are born here in the physical body. She kind of revealed to them, opened up, or illumined the paths for them to follow. She showed them the paths which they have to follow. Awakening the 5 races of man. Panchakshitih Manushih Bodhayanti. We spoke about this Panchakshitih, 5 races of man. Sri Aurobindo refers to them as the Aryan tribes. Yes, these Aryan tribes are the noble people, people who follow the divine, who are here understanding their purpose, meaning of their incarnation to manifest the divine. All other peoples in the world, there are many peoples who do not follow this in their culture. They are not Aryans. They are others, so to say. With perfectly looking bulls she shed light. So some drigbih ukshabih bahanumashret. What are these perfectly looking bulls? So some drigbih. With perfect, total, beautiful, all-revealing light. Bulls. Ukshan is an interesting word for bull. Is the one who actually conceives life, the one who casts the seed. Those creators, yes, with perfect looks, yeah, with perfectly looking creators, she shed the light. Visuryo rodasi chakshasavah, and the sun opened wide the 2 firmaments with his look. Vi chakshasa avach, and the sun, Surya, opened wide with his look again, vision, rodasi, 2 luminous firmaments. That means always heaven and earth. Now, totally loaded with mystic and occult meaning, everything is here. As first of all, she opens up the paths for those who are born in the body, and she awakens all the noble people, yeah, or peoples, 5 peoples, noble Aryan peoples, and with the perfectly looking of the perfect visions, creators, she shed the light, and Surya opened wide and illumined with his look heaven and earth. Most probably the whole philosophy here in this verse, if you start digging. It's already there. The head is already spinning. So before sun illumines heaven and earth, our two foundations, two firmaments of our physical and mental being. Yeah? These are heaven and earth, and they have to be illumined by the supramental light. Before that, she comes with her, intruding with her light, revealing the paths for all those souls born in the body here on earth, and awakening all the five noble tribes living on earth. Yes, five races, if you will, living on earth, and with her powerful creators who have this perfect vision, perfect and total vision creators. She brings this light into this lower hemisphere, and Surya then, with his sight, with his look, illumines and opens up heaven and earth. Illumines, opens up, reveals heaven and earth, reveals the divine properties of our mental and physical nature. Vi anjate divo anteshu aktun vishona yukta ushaso yatante samte gavahtama avartayanti jyotiryachanti saviteva baho. Painting with the light at the edges of heaven. Vi anjate divo anteshu aktan. Aktun. So it's interesting that anteshu, at the end, not at the edges, but at the ends of heaven. So vi anjate. Anjate, painting or also clarifying, purifying with no, purifying or painting. V means in all directions, as it were. Vi anjate divo anteshu aktun. Actu is the very loaded word, which means from root anj, and from the same anj, which is anjate, is to manifest. Vyakti from here, vyakta, manifested. And also it means the light and the night, the darkness and the night. So all the shades from the darkness to the light, aktun. I put here with the light, but truly speaking, it is with all the shades and hues of light, as it were. So she paints the heaven till the end of the heavens with all the hues of light, as dawn is usually doing it. Yeah, when dawn is coming, it's all usually all the flavors, all the hues of light are revealed, from the darkest to the brightest. Vishona yukta ushaso yatante. The dawns come as the tribes ready to fight. This is a very difficult interpretation here. Vishach nach, as if the peoples. Vish is the word used for peoples, but it is from root vish, to enter. All those souls who entered into this manifestation, into this darkened hemisphere, into the night, they are called Vish. The ones who entered. And from here we have another word, Vaishya. Vaishya is people, or as the Varna, yes, Vaishya Varna. From root Vish. So Vishachna, as if those who enter, yes, Yukta, ready, prepared, Ushasach, the dawns, Yatante, strive. So this is literal translation, or aspire. And here I translate it in this clumsy way. The dawns come as the tribes ready to fight. Maybe one should find better. Arrayed for battle, he also translates. And also Yelizarenko follows the same idea. But there is no battle here. This is the point. Yeah? Yatante. Yatante means aspiring, striving for. As if those who entered here and prepared the dawns to striving for. That's literally what it is. Ready to engage, let us say, yes? Not for battle, not to fight. Ready, tribes ready to engage in this constant transformative way of living, so to say, sacrifice. Yes. Engage with the darkness, take the darkness and offer it to light. That is the battle. The battle is described as a constant sacrifice. The battlefield is a sacrifice, or as a journey, as a path. Both are used for sacrifice, because when we move forward, we change. When we fight, we change. Together, your herds of light, rays of knowledge, force the darkness to retreat. Samte gavahtama avartayanti, making it return, withdraw, giving the light as if Savitar, his arms, stretches his arms. Jyotir yachanti, her rays, gavas, her herds of light or rays of knowledge, or cows, literally, if you translate. See, Lizarenko translates, your cows are turning down the darkness. So you can leave the cows, the herds I left it here, to gather your herds of light, force the darkness to retreat, giving the light as if Savitar stretches his arms. Savitar is the Lord of the Sun, actually, who comes before the disk is visible. Yes? So after the dawn, there is a time of Savitar. And it is in that time that the Savitri or Gayatri mantra is pronounced in the morning. Yeah? After the dawn, changes her hues into more brighter light of Savitar before the disk is visible. When the disk started to be visible, it is the time of Surya already, not of Savitar. So Savitar stretches his arms. Savitar is famous because of his arms stretching. It is the Lord who is managing everything. With one hand, he pulls all the souls into manifestation, and with the other hand, he pushes them out, upward. He involves with one hand, and with the other hand, he evolves them, promotes them back to their self awareness. This is how Savitar manages. Why two arms? He is involving light and making it evolve out of the darkness. It's interesting that in both cases, when he involves the light, he actually brings the light, and when he pushes all the souls involved in the darkness to evolve to the light, he's also doing it by light and not by darkness. In both cases, his arms are stretched with the light. Kind of never thought of it before. Abhut Usha Indratama Maghoni Aji Janat Suvitaya Shravansi Vidivo Devi Duhita Dadhati Angirastama Sukrite Vasuni. This is typical for Vasishtha to make these comparisons of that he is Indratama or Angirastama. And the epithets or the adjectives for the dawn. The dawn appeared as if the most of Indra. Yeah, I do not know how to put it in English proper. Let us see what Griffith says. Most like to Indra. Indratama, the one who has the most qualities of Indra. Indra is the lord of the divine mind, actually, the lord of Smar world, yes, of the ray of the sun. And she is here compared to Indra in the most, in the highest degree. So she is of the highest degree of Indra. Her name is Maghoni, rich in plenitude. She brought forth the hymns or inspirations, Shravansi, for perfect journey. Ajijanat literally generated or created Suvitaya for the perfect journey, inspirations. Shravansi, from root shru to hear or to receive inspiration from above. Also knowledge, also hymns, also words, also fame, because everything what is heard is fame. Inspiration is received by this comprehensive cognition. Hearing is comprehensive cognition. So to say, understanding of things rather than seeing things. Vidivo Devi Duhita Dadhati. Beautiful. Many does, yes? Vidivo Devi Duhita Dadhati. The goddess, daughter of heaven, bestows upon a perfect doer her shining riches. Being the best of Angiras rishis, Angirastama. Sukrite Vasuni Dadhati. Dadhati establishes Vasuni, those luminous presence within the substance, bestows upon or establishes for Sukrite, for the one who does perfect the sacrifice, these luminous treasures, which are inbuilt in the substance, in the matter. So, once more, Abhut, interesting, he starts with the verb. Abhut was Usha, Indratama Maghoni, most of Indra and most the rich in plenitude. Ajijanat, producing Shravansi, the inspirational knowledge, Suvitaya, to move perfectly forward. So to move perfectly forward, we need inspiration. We need this inspirational knowledge. Otherwise, we do not move perfectly forward. Yes, we will be stumbling and falling and failing and again catching up and again trying to follow the path. But with her inspirations, inspirational knowledge, the path becomes easy, perfect, suvita. As Mother says, the sunlit path. We can say the dawn-lit path, yes, becomes lit by the dawn. Visible, clear, no stumblings, no mistakes, no doubts. Vidivo Devi Duhita Dadhati, yes. He mixed it with the words beautifully for poet. Divo Duhita has to be together, but he puts in between Devi, the goddess. Diva from root div to shine, heavens. Devi from root div to shine, the goddess. From the same root, both words. and it creates a very beautiful spiritual flavor. Vidivo Devi Duhita Dadhati. Once you understand the words, it's really perfectly made, composed verse. Angirastama, Angirastama Sukrite Vasoni. Number 4. Tavad Usho Radho Asmabhyam Rasva Yavat Stotribhyo Aradogrenana Yamtva Jajnuh Vrishabhasya Ravena Vidridhasya Duro Adrech Aurnoch. Heavy words, yeah? All r's everywhere. Give us, O Dawn, such realization. Tava dosho radho asmabhyam rasva. Radhas, rasva. Yeah? These r's, yeah. Radhas is realization. Rasva, bestow, or cut for us, or shape for us, yes? Give us, bestow upon us this realization, O Dawn, that realization which Yavat Stotribio Aradogranana, which you did give, or give, being praised to those who affirm you, Stotribio, who affirm you in their consciousness, who follow you, who live by you, who allow you to settle within their consciousness. Stotrin. Stotris are those who are doing stuti, who are praising. But Sri Aurobindo gives totally different, or another flavor to this meaning. The one who stu means establishing the deity, the presence of the divine within themselves. When we praise the divine, what do we really do when we praise God? Yes, praise be the Lord. What do we do? We actually try to establish His presence in our consciousness. Yes, and this stuti and stotrin is the one who is stotri stota is the one who establishes. To those you give your realization, who establish you in their consciousness, who affirm you. Yam tva jajnuch vrishabhasya ravena, and the one who generating, bringing to birth you with their cry of a bull, Brihaspati, you who broke wide open the gates of the rock. This is the secret of the Veda. The major secret of the Veda is that there is the infinite rock, which is to be broken, and the hidden treasures, divine treasures, have to be released. And the dawn does this, and Brihaspati, who is the bull, the creator, also does it with his cry, with his bellowings. Yes, he breaks the rock, the subconscious rock hiding the spiritual treasures, and they are released from the inconscient to flow upward. The dawn also reveals this. She breaks the vala. Vala is that rock or that wall covering, holding the treasures. And she, the dawn, even mentioned that she finds herself, the dawn within the inconscient. She releases the herds of the sun, and the herds of the sun are now free to move upward. That's why it is mentioned bringing to birth or generating you with their cry of a bull, Brihaspati. These Angirasa rishis with Brihaspati together They, with their cry, with their prayer, with their word, they broke the strong places withholding the spiritual treasures, and by that generating, bringing to birth you, interesting, the divine dawn. They broke the firm places and released the hidden treasures. That's why in the previous verse she is mentioned as Angirastama, and the most of the Angiras rishis who broke this Vala, cave of wonders. Sometimes it is mentioned as cave, caving, withholding the treasures. And the name of this cave is Vala. Vala is, it's interesting, the same etymology as wall, Vala, separating our innermost treasures from us. That man should not be even as God, as Sri Aurobindo says somewhere, trying to withhold. In Savitri, the whole passage is there about these misers. You remember about them? Jackals of the cave, of the subconscious cave. They are um, holding back our own treasures from us. That I don't remember exact words. That we may not become as gods, because once these treasures are released, the whole nature of our own being is changing. We become as gods. Maybe I will find that in the meanwhile. That is really so. It's such a luminous passage. Be even as gods. Maybe I will type in and find it quickly. Last man shall be, something like this, even as gods.
Vladimir,
Yes.
I think you need a G here in bringing.
G. Last man. What do you mean, G?
Bringing, after generating, it's bring in.
Oh, yeah.
What you.
Thank you. Yeah, typing fast. Let me project this. This is an interesting passage, actually, which explains the whole secret of the Veda, and also this passage will be clear in Savitri. Savitri is a great help, actually. If Savitri would not be there, I don't know. Here it is. Cave, yeah. The treasure was found of a supernal day. This is what it is. In a deep subconscious glowed her jewel lamp, that lamp of Aladdin, if you will. Lifted, it showered the riches of the cave. It showed the riches of the cave where the miser traffickers of sands, these miser traffickers of panis with Vala, unused, guarded beneath night's dragon paws, in folds of velvet darkness draped they sleep, whose priceless value could have saved the world. A darkness carrying morning in its breast looked for the eternal wide returning gleam, waiting the advent of a larger ray and rescue of the lost herds of the sun. In a splendid extravagance of the waste of God dropped carelessly in creation's spendthrift work left in the chantiers, this is French word, of the bottomless world, and stolen by the robbers of the deep, the golden shackles of the eternal lie, hoarded from touch and view and thought's desire, locked in blind entrées of the ignorant flood, lest men should find them and be even as gods. This is what I remember. Be even as gods. So they have to withdraw to hold back our treasures from us. And once that recovery is made, then the grand reversal of the night and day takes place. The deeper interpretation, great and truth. But before that, yes, we are separated small human beings. I'm coming back to the text. Oops, I am again in the same text. Sorry. By the way, I did something 3.5 years research on this Vedic imagery in Sri Aurobindo Savitri. It's a big work, like 700 pages. Somewhere it was left behind in Savitri Bhavan when I lived and worked in Auroville. All what Sri Aurobindo, the imagery, what he's using from the Veda. Yeah? And it helps to understand the Veda, because otherwise we do not have a clue what is happening, what are these herds of the sun, and what is this cave, and so on. So once more, give us, O Dawn, such realization as you did give, being praised or being affirmed by those who affirm you in themselves. You already did this not once. Those who seek your guidance and affirmation, they will get your realization, generating, bringing to birth you with their cry of a bull of Brihaspati. Brihaspati is the father of all the rishis, yes, of Angiras Rishi. He is the Angiras, the major Angiras, whom you who broke wide open the gates of the rock. It is with the mother's force that this rock, and with the roaring of the bull, that this rock can be broken and the herds of the sun released. And the last verse, Devam Devam Radha se chodayanti asmadriyak sunrita irayanti vyuchanti nach sanaye dhiyodha yuyam pata swastibhik sadanach. Promoting every aspect of divine realization, activating, so to say, every aspect of the divine power. Devam Devam Radha se chodayanti. She sends the happy truths towards us. Asmadriyak Sundarita irayanti. Shining wide, grant us these concentrations upon you. Vyuchanti nachsanaye dhiyodhah. O Dhah, establish in us the power to fix our consciousness upon you. Always protect us with your well-beings. Yuyam pata swastibhi sadana. This is the signature of Vasishtha, Yuyam pata swastibhi sadana. It's a refrain ending every hymn, so we know that it is Vasishtha. Griffith translates it a bit differently, impelling every god to grant his bounty, sending to us the charm of pleasant voices, vouchsafe us thoughts for profit, as for breakest, as thou breakest, as thou breakest in light. Preserve us evermore, ye gods, with blessings. Griffith is beautiful because he makes it poetry. He follows the rhythm. One can translate it, impelling every god. Yes, Devam Devam, the god and the god. because she brings all the gods into manifestation. The Divine Mother. It is in her chariot all the gods arrive. Chodayanti. She is compelling or propelling them forward, yes, promoting them forward for the realization, Radha say. Chodayanti. She sends the happy truths towards us. Asmadriyak towards us. Sundarita, happy truths. Irayanti. Uh, we translate send, but ir is an interesting word. It's like irritating, yes, making it energetic, giving it energy, pushing it towards us. Shining wide, grant us these concentrations upon you, and always protect us with your well-beings. Here I will stop, and if you have any thoughts, ideas, or questions, please. I know it is too much, and I'm kind of rumbling here and there, trying to find my way around or through. Um, but I know that once the way is found, or by repeating or dwelling on it longer, something happens. There is slow opening. But if you don't ramble and dwell on it, then it just goes unnoticed. Doesn't even touch anything. Yeah. It's something very strange about this poetry. It needs dwelling. And even in our case, I'm running through. Yeah. It needs more dwelling. Yes, Krista.
Thank you very much, Vladimir. That's such a beautiful way to start the day. Uh, as Jane said, there's different times of the day here. That's the way. For me, it's 7 in the morning when I start. So the Usha is happening as you're speaking. So it's almost like you're describing in this grand poetry what I am experiencing in the moment with Usha and Sabatir and Surya. It's happening right outside my window here, even as you're speaking. So it's just a grand way to start the day. So I wanted to mention that.
Wonderful. Yes, it makes totally sense to look at them as spiritual beings and not to look at them as just, the big ball of gas burning there somewhere, uh, giving you just warmth, which, if you look at these events, not physically only, but spiritually, we get totally different sense of being, of our existence.
Yes. And also an insight into what people must have felt before they realized we're on a globe that's rotating into a star, the the grand spectacle of the dawn must have been breathtaking each day. We've kind of, I think the modern people must have lost that by
Yeah.
understanding the astronomy.
Well, truly speaking, they speak about the Earth as the globe. It's they knew about it, that it was the globe. And their dawn is not physical. Yeah, their dawn is really something spiritual, dawning of the Divine Mother. The image is taken from, yeah, because we speak the language which is tied to the Earth and Earth phenomena. So in that sense, yes, all the symbols, and by the way, all the physical symbols are also a replica or some kind of a symbol of some spiritual event, definitely. It can't be something else. It can't be that the physical lives by itself and then we take it and start applying it to our psychological, because that very form which is there is also the outcome or the result of this creation, as our consciousness is. Our psychology is operating by those symbols, and those symbols came to life into being because of that very force which created our own understanding of ourselves. So there is a total correspondence of the outer and inner, or the physical and spiritual, in the view of the Vedic rishis, yes? They are using these symbols and hiding the meaning. It's the easiest way to hide the meanings, to use the symbols of the material world, yes, which are corresponding totally to those psychological phenomena. What can be better to hide? Yes, you just put it open and nobody can see it. I was always wondering how skillfully they hid their knowledge, that over millennia it could not be found.
I really appreciate the simple language of Vasishtha,
Mm,
and especially paired with Savitri, with Sri Aurobindo, putting those two lights together.
mm,
I really appreciate that. For example, this one hymn is like the whole story in a nutshell. And, it's the whole secret of the Veda right here. It's the whole big picture in such a condensed and beautifully articulated form. I think it's going to take a really long time to unpack it all. But I can feel already that this is the whole point, that everything that you need to know is right here in this hymn.
mm,
So I really appreciate that.
mm. Nice, nice. There will be more appreciation coming that nearly in every hymn you will see the whole picture. They are of that nature that every hymn somehow, because of this presupposition, yes, what they mean to say, yeah, what is behind that, what they are saying. What they are saying is the outcome of something they understand. And when we tap into that understanding, then the whole thing looks very different than just reading the words.
Mm.
The same with Sri
That's,
Aurobindo. Yeah. Yes, Soumya.
sorry, I didn't. Please finish your thought.
No, I did. I did.
Okay. Uh, I'm very intrigued by the panis and the jackal that Sri Aurobindo mentions. Who are these robbers and how can we stop them? And you've mentioned a few times. I'm just wanting to learn a little bit more, and if there's a way for us to stop these robbers.
There is no way to stop them. There is.
But who are these? Like subconscious. If you could provide some context.
Right. Sri Aurobindo gives us the outline. He actually points out what they are. They are the senses of action, yes? Karmendriyas. They grew up from the inconscient. Well, our hands acting, yes, our speech speaking, our legs walking, our reproductory organs and excretory organs, they are constantly relating us physically to the physical reality. I can reach out, I can give, I can take with the hands, I can walk, move from one place to another physically. Notice, these are physical senses. They are standing behind these physical organs, and they do not know other way of being. You know? They actually survived and evolved and developed from the most inconscient way of being. That amoeba, first monocellular organism, didn't have legs or feet to walk or to exchange, to communicate, couldn't communicate with outer world, but it wanted. Everything was there packed within that one cell, but it had to develop the organs. Now, by moving, by connecting, it started, to develop the feet and then the hands and then the eyes to see, then the mouth to talk, and slowly everything, all the faculties were developing the organs, physical organs. I'm insisting on physical, yeah, because their organs also behind, they are not physical, subtle, they are there, but they want to have physicality, the eyeballs, yes, the fingers to the skin to touch, and so on. Everything has to be developed, and over billion years, they were moving towards this, building their bodies. These are the senses, yeah? they are the panis. Sri Aurobindo even says that panis are not even enemies. They just do not know how not to grab. Yeah? They are they survived like this. They evolved like this. That is their strength. They do not know how to give themselves to the divine. They have no idea how to do it. Yeah? So they grab every light which comes to us immediately and store it into the subconscious cave. But what it means that when we are physically active, we cannot be spiritually deeply perceptive. This division on the either you act physically and or you become immobile, sit down, close your eyes, stop moving, stop breathing, stop thinking, then you can reach deeper into the inner being. Yeah? But if you are active outside, just start moving your hands, your feet, just do something and play badminton. The inner perception is fading away, yeah? So to say, is being veiled. That's why this yoga developed a particular practice of becoming hatha yoga, to manage the body, to sit immobile for hours and be comfortable, but breathing, to stop breathing, breath, kumbhaka. Yes? Why? Because to stop thinking, breath stops thought process. Yeah? If you stop breathing, you have to manage your mind. Managing mind, stopping thinking, stopping breathing, stopping moving allows you to tap deeper into your inner worlds. That's why. So either you are active outside or you are perceptive within. This is the problem of our psychology, yes? Because it evolved like this. But to convert, only the one thing we can do is to convert them. Yeah? Panis. Panis have to be converted into the carriers of light rather than grabbers and holding it. You know? They are misers, they are traffickers. They sell this light for their own aggrandizement. They want to be great. They know that it has value, but they don't know what value it is. Yes? It's like money, you know. You know that money has value, but what value? You have no idea why that paper has a value. You know? But but it has. So you want to have a lot of paper or a lot of gold. You do not know why gold is valuable. Because of exchange only. They know that value is an exchange, not as such. They do not know why that spirituality has that value. That's why they are traffickers and traders. Trading is that very, yeah, to exchange the goods without knowing their value, true value. And by exchanging, living. So that's what they are doing. Yeah? They're exchanging us in the physical world, all our values with the physical world. We are reaching, exchanging, walking, producing, casting out of ourselves, speaking, communicating. Notice all these five karmendriyas are exactly relating us physically to the physical world. So this is the problem of our fundamental problem of psychology. Sri Aurobindo tried to convert those karmendriyas, yeah, or those senses of action, into the divine activities by walking in his room. He was walking for years. He created even holes in those holes were covered, but for a while they were visible there. People could see those holes where he was tapping strong. He was not just walking like lightly. He was really making boom, boom. You could hear him putting his feet on the ground. I think something he achieved through this, bringing this light into this karmendriya of walking, yeah? And into karmendriya of speaking, he already did. We can now speak and hold the consciousness or become perceptive. This is happening already. It wasn't easy before. It was only with sages and so on. And nowadays it is becoming possible for normal beings. to speak things which are widening the presence, yeah, for anyone. I hear this from you, from Linda, they speak, when Linda spoke in this conference, or Selby, I hear this. I hear this opening. Yeah? It is happening. That means karmendriya of speech can be used now for meditative purposes, for reconnection. And walking or meditation also can be used. You can walk and slowly go into some deep sense of presence. With hands, it's more difficult. Of course, procreator, excretor organ is the most difficult ones, and most probably they will change the last. But still, so this is the mystery of those panis and vala. And once they grab this light, what they do, they attract more light to come and to liberate that light. So that is their way of telling us, we are giving ourselves to you. Take us as robbers and break us, and we are ready to change and to become divine. They cannot give themselves, but they can fight with the divine. And the divine will win, of course, and they will turn into the divine properties. Yes, Amlan is very thoughtful somehow. Yes.
Sir, I wanted to ask you about the fourth one, actually, if you can pull it up. The fourth verse in the hymn.
Yeah. Yes. So what do you want to ask? Shall I project?
Yes, sir, please, if you can. I have two questions, sir. One small question, which is, what is the meaning of the word arado? What is that word meaning?
Yes, breaking. Huh? Arad is breaking. Aradach, you broke forth. Radiation is a good word. Rad root. Why you ask?
No, because I was trying to sort of figure out, sir, that sense. And secondly, sir, also I was wondering, sir, why did you relate the bull to Brihaspati? Because I have seen him in Indra's context also, in Agni's context also. I was
Because of the
thinking
cry.
because of the word Ravena, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking that, but then that also is there in Agni him sometimes, sir. The word Roruvat, for instance, is there quite
Yeah, but
similar.
mainly Brihaspati, and especially breaking the rock. It's everywhere. He breaks the rock with his cry or with his roar, bull roar. Have you heard how bull roars? In reality, it's scary. It's such a power. You don't want to face that being when he roars. Yes? It's really powerful. It put. You remember it scared even the lion when he heard the bull roar. Even lion is scared of his cry because of that only. Well, of course, it can be Indra and so on, but Indra is not roaring, and Agni is also not by roar. He breaks, not by his cry. He breaks the Vala, but only Brihaspati and Angiras rishis. At least
My
from other myths, from other hymns, I know it.
my thinking of this particular term for bull was that whenever it appears, it kind of points to the supreme, the Purushottama in the Rigveda, kind of coming through there either in Agni form or Indra form. Like the word maybe Dhenu is used for cow. So what about that, sir? Is that correct way to look at it?
We do not speak of Purushottama in the Rigveda for one reason, that it is already as something which appeals to our kind of metaphysical kind of layout, a more conceptual, more mental. Here it is just the force of the divine, which we call Brihaspati or Indra, yes? Of course, they are all Purushottama's forces, definitely, and Mother's forces in action, but we do not conceptualize that far. Yeah? But I understand, yes, it is all Purushottama's dealings, yes, and gods and souls and naras and janas. All these words, notice, Nara is the heroic soul of man who engaged himself in this manifestation. Jana is the one who took the body, who was born in the body, the soul born in the body. Vish is the one who entered into the manifestation. Notice, all of them are pointing to this entry of the soul to this world. It's so obvious here in the Rigveda, but when we move out of this into post-Vedic literature, then jhana becomes a being, man, yes. Manushya is the one who possesses mind, a free will, of Manu formation. That kind of lineage or that depth we do not have in the post-Vedic. It's only in the Veda it is kind of standing out immediately. That makes the source shine through. So we are not just here the beings, we are the souls who took onto ourselves the birth, born here in the physical body, which makes all the difference. And if you go on with this, it generates and creates totally new vision of your life and of life of everyone and everything. Slowly it builds up different consciousness, yes, or different perception of our engagement and who we are and why we are here. This is what we try to do actually in our sessions, I believe. And gods also, if we start looking, and look here, so many Radhas, Rasva, Aradach, yes, break it. Has this strange power. Ra is to shine also, yes. Radiation is to shine. And what is radiation? Is breaking actually, yes. Red, what is red? Yes, you start thinking about this and Radhas. Radhas is Raich. Raich is another word for light, spiritual light or treasure. Radhas is also treasure. Ratna, another word. Yeah, and so you have it. And
Even
Rasva.
Ravena also, sir, interestingly.
And Ravena also. Ravena is not only by the it's a blast of the sound, but also it can be the blast of the light. Yeah, absolutely. A roar, I think it's the same etymology, rav, aru. In other languages also, in Slavic languages, rivech, rov, rev. Okay, we stop here for today with our cries, breaking the Vala, knocking onto the doors of Vala. Not breaking it, but knocking. With the Vedic hymns, Vasishta's help. And I was thinking these hymns are left for us to orient ourselves. Imagine we don't have anything of the kind. What shall we do with our lives? Yeah? And live, eat, and what? Like animals or something? Where is that orientation to overgrow ourselves, to surpass our being? So these are the inspirations which are coming, pushing us forward, pointing where we have to go. Yes, otherwise we would fall asleep in our comfort zones, cooking things, and that's what Mother says about Africa. What happened from great, highly developed civilization with its comforts, it fell slowly into the level of the animal life, degraded. There was no Veda there. There was no orientation where to go. not to belittle anyone, just it is the fact. Yes, it's not something to say bad about some people. It's a choice of the peoples. There are Aryan peoples who are searching the divine realization, and there are those who do not, and they are happy with their aboriginal way of living, and there's nothing wrong about it, only within the view of this, yes, what we would be if we would not have it. So we would just be aboriginals as everybody else, and we'll be stuck to a specific way of species, like elephants are stuck to the elephant form, like monkeys are stuck to the monkey form, and that's it. That is the end.
Sir, I was wondering about these five tribes. Could it be that these are like the five races of man? Because there are these classifications of race where they measure the skull and they put it into those categories. I think they call it some I'm forgetting, sir, but there are these five classifications, and I was finding it interesting. And it seems like maybe about 150,000 years ago, there were other races of a pre-man like the Denisovians or the Neanderthals that did not really make it forward in that sense, and the cultivators, the Aryans, the arrangers, or the Charshanis, the Vishwa Charshanis, they were the ones who kind of so every time I encounter this, I actually think of the ones that are human, all the literally the human oriented uh, peoples, if that makes sense, sir.
Yeah, Sri Aurobindo refers to them as spiritually, those who really seek the. There's much to say about this. Yes, at the beginning of our civilization as spiritual beings. These five are mentioned. You can look into the dictionary, Aryan tribes. These are Yadus, Turvasus, Druhius, Anus, and Purus. Those very Purus, Pauravas. Yeah? These are the names of those five tribes, Aryan tribes. Um, yeah, I'm not sure that these are races. Though there is a temptation to really five races on Earth, and many times Blavatsky was doing this, putting these races. But Aryans came later. They came, according to Blavatsky, from those Titan races before, so those giants. So there was giant civilization before here, and there's much to speak. I don't want to go into this because it's the end of our time. But Sri Aurobindo speaks about them as the spiritual beings, whose soul chooses the divine. And in his view, this mixture with the divine lofty beings and the aboriginal tribes took place long ago. And so there was a part of humanity which was mixed with those lofty beings, typal beings, and which became evolutionary because of that, but with mixing with Aboriginal tribes. That's what humanity is about. We are of double origin, yes, of the divine and earthly origin. And that's why we are looking for, as Aryans, always looking for the fulfillment of why that sacrifice of the divinity was done to the Aboriginals, why we gave ourselves away. We are always seeking this. But some formations do not seek that. And in their total right of their own development. We don't need to judge them. We do not belittle them by this. It's the fact. And they don't want it. They don't want it from within, I mean. From without, they may want it. It's comforts and so on. But from within, they have no need for it. Yeah, so we have to decide who we are. Either we are those or these who do not need anything anymore. Happy with what we have. Can you imagine to be happy with what you have? It's quite difficult, yes. It's impossible, nearly. But some people are. Unless they want to grab more money from others, yes. But that is outer. It's not inner achievement. All right, I will stop here. So many provoking thoughts Amlan is making. Okay, thank you all, and next time we will take another. Namaste.